Welcome back. It is December 8th as I am recording this, and it is the last day of the Eras Tour, which I wish I was at, but I also love knowing that it's here, it's in Vancouver, and over this entire weekend, I have just been hit with a lot of Taylor content. And for those that know, huge Swiftie fan, grew up with Taylor Swift. Some of her oldest stuff brought me to tears when I was a teenager and a young adult. And I really love what she's done with this tour. And I feel like I have to talk about it from a marketing perspective as well as just from inspiration for so many things. And so first off, the title of this episode is It's Not a Cult, It's a Community. And there's a lot out there right now, those that maybe don't like Taylor Swift or just aren't a fan, which is fine. Choose your own people. They're calling these, like, the Swifties, they're calling them cults. And did these people spend crazy money to see her? Yes. But there's an emotional connection that Taylor has been able to create with her fans that has never been done before at this level in this time. I think, if some of the most, like if the Beatles had social media back in the day, I think they could have done this too. But she is living in an era where she can create community online and offline, and she can bring it all together, and they start the trends. She doesn't start them. They have created their own trends, and they've spoken, and they've, like, with the friendship bracelets, she just said one thing, and in a lyric, and her community completely transformed it into something that was a brand identity for her. If you look at any of her branding, there are no friendship things in her music, in her album covers, like none of that. And so what I really want to dive into today is that concept of cult versus community. And I just finished doing a competitor analysis. Well, not done, but I just went down a rabbit hole here for a little bit, couple hours. And some accounts that I was looking at, they had great content. Some had terrible content, lots of followers, but the content was whereas others had amazing content, but the engagement was flat. And the common denominator between all of the accounts that I was looking at was that none of them felt like they had a community. And I think that's the biggest thing that we can take from the Eras Tour, and that we can take from how Taylor Swift has continued to show up for her people, for her fans. And we all have fans. We all do. Wherever we go, we have fans, even if our fans are just our family or our fans are our friends and family. I know that I have a community on BNL, and I know that I have a community on my personal account, and I've been able to bear witness to that this weekend, which I'll save for another podcast. But the community is what makes her different, and she is not perfect. All artists are human beings at the end of the day, but she's been able to create connection both virtually and physically with her audience. And I did have the pleasure of going to her Red tour way back when. I guess I would have been in my mid-20s. And you could feel it then. That was when Ed Sheeran was opening for her, and he was brand spanking new to the space. Ugh, throwback. Just going to sit with that for a moment. But I remember the feeling that I had when I was at her concert. You could feel her gratitude, and you could feel that she wanted to be there. And I have been at other concerts. I've seen big artists like Katy Perry. I've seen Rihanna. I'm trying to think of other ones that are female-led. Lady Gaga. And the gratitude energy that just radiates from Taylor Swift is unlike any others. The others, they were there, they performed, they were beautiful, they were amazing. But they didn't have that same, it's like they were doing us a favor. And I think that's what makes Taylor Swift different. And that's how I always propose anyone enter marketing, whether you're a personal brand or you're like a service-based business, whatever it is that you do, is like lead from a place of connection and gratitude, because people are choosing to spend their money to use your service, to experience whatever you've created. Taylor Swift made $2 billion by being herself throughout this entire time. Of course, she has had huge collaborations. She's done the greatest cross promotions you could imagine. She's leaned into the fashion industry to even cross promote that way. Like, everything about the tour landed all things marketing, and we did a blog about it. But everything she did helped build and scale her community of fans. Even NFL lovers started to fall in love with Taylor Swift because of the collaboration. I mean, I really hope that it's true love, and I really hope that her and Travis Kelce are the real deal, and maybe we'll see a wedding in a couple years, and how cool would that be? She deserves all the love in the world, and as we all do. And everything she's done, she has done it at a large scale to everything that I believe businesses and brands should do online and offline to scale their own companies. And watching her fans be UGC content for her Eras tour, and now seeing, like, I didn't dive into this, I haven't been watching it all year, I've just been seeing snippets, but now her being in Vancouver, kind of taking like a little bit of a deep dive, and I had no idea, but there's people live streaming the event all the time. There's people commenting on little idiosyncrasies that they notice. There's vertical video UGC content, user-generated content, out the yin-yang on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm sure YouTube as well, but I'm not getting targeted with Taylor Swift content on YouTube that showcases all the little details, whether it's from like the outfits she's wearing or the mic errors that she has, or the singing in the rain in different countries when it rained because she was in an outdoor concert. And all of these people are creating content and just driving it. She's not doing anything. It's the community that's doing it, and it's the community that shaped the Eras tour and what it became to be. If social media didn't exist, I strongly believe it wouldn't be as big as it was. And it's because the way that the community created an even bigger community together. She has never identified her audience as Swifties. That's something that they've termed themselves. And it's different than, Lady Gaga, she called all her community like little monsters. Like, she would communicate to her audience in that way to try to build that. And whereas Taylor's has really formed organically, and it has really become a place where if you like Taylor Swift and someone else likes Taylor Swift, there's just this deeper understanding of two people based on that knowing. And if you don't like Taylor Swift, there's no judgment from the Swifties. Well, just kidding. There definitely is somewhere. If you accidentally post something on social media, you will get attacked by the Swifties. But it's very niche. It's a community that she didn't create. She didn't pay for it. She didn't do anything in order to force it. It just magically connected on its own. And as a small business owner, if you're listening to this and you're asking, well, like, how the heck can I create that for me? It all starts with you leading the way. And Taylor had to put a lot in over the years. Like, she's been going for a very long time to get to where she is now. And she's gone through a lot of heartbreak. She's gone through a lot of drama, a lot of ups and downs with her career. She's always been an amazing singer, but like, there are albums that are better than others. And there are places that definitely, we all know, like, she struggled. And she's not perfect, and there's stuff in the media that definitely, she's a celebrity, and she's made mistakes. But one thing that she hasn't made a mistake on is always sticking to her gift and being that Taylor Swift loving person and showing up as much as possible. And that, as a small business owner, is really a good starting point. Now, if you want to take it one step further and ask yourself, well, how can I create a community that creates content and like just drives the brand awareness for me while I'm continuing to stay in my gift. For Taylor Swift, she continues to sing, she elevates her wardrobes, she does collaborations, she does all those things, and her audience takes notice and they talk about it. So what can you do in your brand to catch people's attention? First off, what can you do to stay in your gift? What does that look like for you? For me, staying in my gift is the written word and strategy. No one wants me running their social media on the daily. When it comes to small details, that is not my gift. That is why I have the amazing BNL unicorns to help me out with that. So, and when I do that, my community notices. When I write, my community notices. When I show up on camera, my community notices. And I know that based on feedback that they've shared with their friends, or they've talked about it in real life somewhere, or a new LinkedIn follower comes through, or a new Instagram follower comes through from a collaboration or a conversation. And this all has happened when I stay in my gifts. As soon as I stray away, it doesn't. Now, do I ever plan on being Taylor Swift? No. But I do admire what she's done. And I am on the side of it's not a cult, it's a community. And I think we've strayed too far away from what community actually means. And community is a place where people feel supported by others. They feel understood. They can lean on each other for support. And I actually think that people that aren't a part of the Taylor Swift community took advantage of that. And we saw that in fraudulent ticket sales and overpriced ticketing. People reselling their tickets for insane amounts of money just to make money. And taking advantage of the ones who rely and lean on this Taylor Swift community to feel like they belong. And that's all community is a place where you feel like you belong. And with BNL, we try to create a place where anyone and everyone who's navigating social media feels like they belong in this space and that they can post on social media and do it well and effectively and have results too. And that's something that I have really strived for over the years, and I continue to do so. And that also comes into my staff, showing them that they are all capable of being amazing marketers and digital experts and social media managers, even if they didn't have that specific experience on their resume, which if you were to interview most of my staff, they don't have that experience, but they belong a part of the unicorns, and we are like a community within our company. And talking about that actually is quite emotional, thinking about how a community can get taken advantage of when all that's wanted is connection and belonging. And so when you look at Taylor Swift and what she's created, she has led the way, but she is the woman that set the stage, leading with gratitude and kindness and not pigeonholing herself at all, and really welcoming anyone and everyone to connect with her that feels aligned with her, is pretty beautiful. And so props to Taylor Swift for the Eras Tour, and kudos to all of you listening for taking the leap onto social media, for really working at creating a community. Social media is where I learned how to belong to a community. First, it was a local community. I was lonely in the Okanagan. All of my friends had left from university. And I didn't have any friends in Kelowna, but like my intuition knew I had to stay. And the only place I could turn to was Instagram and see what was going on in my Kelowna community. And that was what started this whole thing. It first was a blog, and that blog was an attempt at creating community and connection. It mostly created connection with myself, but then it expanded into B&L Media Consulting, which is just such a blessing to own and to lead. And I am grateful. Always grateful. Always grateful. Even during the times when it feels a little dark. Always grateful for the experiences that has led me. And no matter where I go and no matter where I travel, I know that I have my social media community that supports me. And I also have my in-person community. And there are some times where I feel like I belong more on online communities than I do in offline ones. And I think that's the magic that Taylor Swift has been able to bring, is to create online community, because we all know the Swifties are super active online. And also, when they come offline, they're still super connected and loving and cheerful and awesome. And that's with millions of people, billions of people across the globe. She has been able to do that. And the most successful brands have done that. And even though you're small, you are able to do it too. Because we all started somewhere. Taylor Swift was just a gal singing in Nashville at one point when I think she was 16. I mean, I think there's a song about that. Yeah. So that's all I've got. I love talking about Taylor Swift. I mean, her music is great, but what she has accomplished and the energy that she has brought to the table is unlike anything else I've ever seen in my lifetime. But I hope it's just the beginning. And I do hope that as we move into this new era, which I feel like we are definitely shifting into a very new energetic era, that more musicians take the lead. I would say Billie Eilish is definitely another one that is coming forward and doing it differently, and more to come. So thank you for listening, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Fly Flamingo Fly. Coming into 2025, I'm saying it, so I have to do it. We will be doing more guest episodes. I have a lot of friends and acquaintances and social media followers that have had success on social, and they want to share it with you. So, I want you to hear it. So I will be scheduling them, and which scheduling is always a tricky thing for me. I don't like to be scheduled, but schedules are really important. So I am going to be scheduling these probably around 2 a month, and really diversifying different platforms is the goal. As you all know, I love Instagram, but I am definitely changing my tune a little bit and really falling in love with YouTube and the magic that that platform has. And during my new competitor analyses, minor yawn, I am really seeing how companies are leaning into other platforms. I just saw a company that was dead on all platforms except for Substack, which is an interesting find. And I saw another company that was doing okay on all the platforms, but was killing it on Pinterest. So it's a different world that we're entering, and I'm here to share it. So thank you so much. Have an amazing evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I hope that you continue to show up online and offline as the truest and most authentic version of yourself. Because when you do, you are the flamingo, you are the unicorn, and only what's meant for you will start to fully attract to you. Because we all deserve success. We all deserve what we want, and you can have it. You can have it all. Until next time.